because I think that this is a matter where Christians need to get over themselves. Stop worrying about what people think. Stop worrying if people think, if people are going to tar you, you're a dinosaur, you're some kind of intellectual outcast, you're outside of the Overton window, and recognize the moral scandal of what's going on. This is a complete and utter travesty of science, and it is lunacy and hypocrisy literally on a global scale, and it's causing hundreds of millions of people to suffer and die, and it's going to wreck our nations as well. I would go so far as to say that I think it's deeply, deeply immoral to oppose the production of fossil fuel, and to say that we should have less fossil fuel, because fossil fuels protect and support life, human life on a basic level. And I don't believe this narrative that's saying that they're destroying the planet. And what difference is it going to make anyway? China is building on average two coal-fueled power plants a week. Two a week. They're the biggest producer of fossil of CO2 emissions in the world. And that's, if you were to add up all the other CO2 emissions in their entirety, China would still be producing more than all of that. So, for having your granny's boiler taken away, and having the last years of her life spent in discomfort and misery because she can't heat a house, or letting these poor little African children die of dysentery because they haven't got clean drinking water, or allowing these farmers and their families to starve because they don't have the appropriate fertilizer, isn't going to make any difference anyway. So it's a completely and utterly pointless sacrifice to make. And why are they even doing it? Like, for political expediency, for money, for virtue signaling, or we could chain ourselves to a coal-fired power plant or something like that. I don't know what you dress yourself as. Like, you dress up as a gas boiler and chain yourself to a power plant in front of some bulldozers, just like a vicar in a kind of boiler, in literally like a boiler suit, like an actual boiler, like a big rectangular boiler. Chain yourself to a power plant and saying, no, these fossil fuels will save lives. Man. Yeah. Anyway, Daniel, I mean, I found that really, when I actually think about it, I think it's, to a certain extent, I just think, well, we've just got to live with this because this is the madness that's taken over the world. But when you actually gauge with the issues, that as that film does, it does make me feel like, oh, this is just disgraceful. I mean, I'm happy to sort of sit back and not say anything about it most of the time because I don't want to get in trouble. And the Church of England is obviously, its sort of official position is that we utterly buy into this. But I think, the moral case for opposing it is so strong, it's so powerful and compelling that it really does need to be made. And I just think people on the right and Christians who oppose it just need to get some balls, basically, and start.